Hello, welcome. I hope anyone who's watching this video is having a good day. So I've been binge watching this series on YouTube. It's called Pitch Meetings. And I can't believe I just discovered it recently. I'm pretty sure it's Screen Rant. It's a Screen Rant channel, and I want to throw this out there. I really don't give a shit about Screen Rant. I really don't. I used to read their articles back in the day, but now they're just gone shit. But I just saw this pitch meeting. I think it was recommended to me on YouTube. And I was just like, I don't know. And I've seen it has so many views. I'm like, well, it has to be good, I guess. And I clicked one of the videos and I just didn't stop. I just kept watching all the videos in that playlist. It's absolutely hilarious. And people in the comment section has written this same comment in each of their videos, or pitch meeting videos, and I sort of agree. Like this guy, he does the pitch meetings video. He's literally like carrying Screen Rant. Honestly, I actually do believe that. So just in case no one knows what pitch meeting is, it's basically a series of videos on YouTube, right? And this purpose is to break down elements within a movie that doesn't make sense and makes fun of them. So basically, imagine CinemaSins, but actually good and funny. That's what pitch meeting is, and it's absolutely hilarious. I was watching this Harry Potter video, and they broke down elements within the movie that I just didn't even think of, and it just makes me look that movie in a different way. It was like, holy shit, that actually doesn't make sense. Holy crap, that doesn't make sense. But it doesn't do it in a funny way. And I was absolutely laughing. And it was just, yeah, this guy is carrying Screen Rant. It's absolutely hilarious. I absolutely love that series. And it actually showed me something that, well, it showed me one uncomfortable thing, is that I'm a gigantic hypocrite when it comes to movies. And what I mean is this. I'm trying to think of a movie. Okay, for example, The Last Jedi. And this is where the tricky nature of objectivity or subjectivity starts to come in. Well, at least for me, because I'm not used to thinking it that way, and it's kind of weird of me saying that. But so think of The Last Jedi, right? Events happen in the last. Let's just say this: events happen in The Last Jedi that it fucks up the lore of Star Wars, if that makes sense. So things happen in The Last Jedi that really destroys it destroys the world building that existed before. So the universe of Star Wars, there are sets of rules. The Last Jedi sort of broke those rules, and that's a problem within the story. And you could say that's You could say that's how can I phrase this? This is objectively bad because it fucks up the lore of Star Wars, stuff like that. So with this pitch meeting series, when I'm watching it, it doesn't take your feelings into account. It just tells you what the movie is and just breaks down things that doesn't make sense. Even if you like the movie, you can't really sit there and say, okay, I like the movie, even though things in it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter, I like the movie. You can still like the movie, but you can't sit there and say it makes sense. Or you can't sit there and say it's a good movie, because there are some elements in that movie that doesn't make sense. And this is what this pitch meeting series has shown me in deeper detail. Maybe because it's comedic, that's why I was able to absorb it more, to understand it fully. So I've been using that kind of mentality without me realizing it in The Last Jedi. So basically, when The Last Jedi happened, and I'm seeing people defend it or saying it's good, or things happen, the events happen in The Last Jedi that breaks the law of Star Wars, it doesn't matter. I've seen people say this. So when people do say this, I kind of argue with, well, that doesn't make sense because it was established here and here and here that it should be like this, and this movie just completely does a 180 on this, so thus it doesn't make sense. Or characters acting in a certain way and it doesn't make sense. Events that happen like this, it doesn't make sense. The slow chase scene doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? Or the Canto Bite scene doesn't make sense. How they freed the animals but left the children as slaves. It doesn't. So you know what I mean. So I've been using. I guess I've been looking at in the lens. How can I say this? This is hard for me. So I've been looking at it in an objective lens, sort of. I'm hoping I've been looking in that lens. I'm pretty sure I am. So when I looked in that lens and then people just disregard it and just say, no, it doesn't make sense. Oh, you're just a hater, blah, blah, blah. In my mind, it just says, all right, these guys are idiots. Like, if you can't see that this doesn't make sense, it's like, then I don't know what to tell you. You're just willfully being ignorant. So I just had this kind of mindset when I looked at movies that I personally don't like, because I'm looking at them like, okay, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. But then I'm starting to notice that I'm a bit of a hypocrite, because there are some movies that I personally like, that I really love, but I am afraid to look at them in an objective lens, because I'm afraid that if I do, it would make me look like the fool. And since I've grown attached to these movies, I don't want to not detach myself from them, but it will color my experience of the movie about, wow, this actually doesn't make sense. So thus I like the movie less, even though I thoroughly enjoyed the movie more. And one of those movies for me is Man of Steel. One of those movies for me is Man of Steel. And when I looked at my recommendations and this pitch movie, Man of Steel's pitch meeting, I actively avoided it because I didn't want them to rip apart my favorite movie. So it was just like one of those things that, wow, I'm a complete hypocrite. So I just thought to myself, yeah, you know what? Let me just actually watch it. Let me actually. It's like an experiment for me. Will I be able to accept the criticism? Will I be able to, you know? So basically, will I still be a fanboy? Actually, the thing is, I don't know what will happen after I watch this. Will I accept it? Will I don't? Will I act the same people who just ignored the criticisms of The Last Jedi? You know, stuff like that. And I loved Man of Steel. I really did love it. It made me love Superman. Again, because before Man of Steel, I really didn't give a shit. So, yeah. So I'm just going to watch this and let's see what happens. Let's see if I agree or I disagree. Let's see if I accept the criticism or I don't. I just want to see what will happen to my mentality if I see this. Because I was putting this off. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to watch this. And I'm like, nah, I'm just being a hypocrite. So let's see. Let's see what happens, right? And I fucking love this guy. He's hilarious.
So you have a Superman script for me?
Yes, sir, I do.
That sounds like fun.
No.
No?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be real serious and real gritty.
Oh, it is?
Right, because remember how the Dark Knight trilogy made a bunch of money?
Are you kidding me? That's all I think about ever.
Yeah, so I figure we could do that dark, gritty origin thing again, but this time with Superman.
Do you think it matters that Superman is much more of a hopeful and colorful hero than the Dark Knight?
I don't think anything matters.
Interesting worldview. All right, so what happens in the movie?
Now, but before I continue, I need someone to explain to me when they say, oh, this is a darker or serious take of Superman. Because the thing is, with Superman, right, the Superman that I've been exposed to are things like, for example, Kingdom Come. Like the graphic novel Kingdom Come. That Superman, the comics that I've read of DC Comics, there have been tons of stories where they not even take Superman, but they treat Superman as this serious character, and there's this dark moments in the comics for Superman. So when people say colorful or hopeful, in my mind, I guess this is wrong with me thinking, but in my mind, I automatically think of campy. Because I don't know what they mean when they say dark and serious. If they mean dark and serious, does it mean depressing or stuff like that? I didn't when I watched Man of Steel, I didn't get that vibe. Oh, I'm so depressed. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting when people say, "Oh, this is such a dark movie. This is such a dark Superman." I'm like, I didn't get this. They took the character seriously. The tone that I can match this, I'm trying to think of a tone that matches with this. It's like a less. It's like the same. I'm trying to think of an example, but I just can't. I was about to say the X-Men, like X-Men 1 and 2, but less campy. But that's not good. That's not a good comparison to use. It's hard to explain. It really is. But I just didn't find it depressing. I know they took it serious, but it's not dark and depressing. So I didn't. So I wish. That's the thing. I want people to tell me when they say colorful. Basically when they say colorful, I want to know what they actually mean by that. But for me, when I watched Man of Steel, it wasn't depressing at all. They took it serious, but it wasn't depressing at all. It wasn't campy. That's what I loved. That's what turned me off of Superman, especially in the movies. The comics was fine, but with the movies, nah.
Movie. Well, the planet Krypton is about to explode, so Superman's dad, Jor-El, is planning on sending him off to Earth. Aren't any other Kryptonians gonna leave the planet too? No, Jor-El tells this council that everyone on this planet is already dead. If they're gonna put a baby Superman on a spaceship, why can't they put other people on spaceships too? Because. Fair enough. Anyway, then this bad guy...
Wait, do I agree with that? I can't think of any argument against it. I guess it's true. Because I'm trying to remember Man of Steel. Well, let me watch some more of this. Maybe...
Zod is gonna try to take over and they're gonna stop him. Oh, so what do they do with him? Well, they banish him from the planet. So they can launch a baby into space and they can launch bad guys into space, but they have to stay on a planet that's gonna explode. That's what we're going with. Well, okay then. Anyways.
Okay, that's true. I will, actually, yeah, that is true. Now, that is true. If they had time, if Jor-El had time to send Kal-El up and the council had time to try Zod, then there is more than enough time to get some people out of Krypton. That is a true, no, I agree with that criticism. I actually didn't think about this. And that actually is the right criticism. I mean, Jor-El did get the Codex, which houses all life on Krypton, and passes on to Kal-El, so Clark is basically an arc, like a living arc. So he has basically all life on Krypton. Does he have all life on Krypton or just Kryptonians? When I say all life, I meant like all the creatures in Krypton. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he does have all the Kryptonians in that codex, and he gave it to Clark Kent, so he imbued with his DNA. So okay. But it doesn't actually change his criticism that they had enough time to get people out of Krypton. That is a fair criticism. Now, that is a fair criticism.
So Superman's gonna be raised as Clark Kent in Kansas, and his adoptive father wants him to keep his identity a secret. Okay. So when Clark is a kid and he saves a bunch of kids from drowning, his dad's like, maybe you shouldn't have done that. What? Yeah, he's like, your secret is that important. You probably should have just stood around and watched all your classmates drown. Wow, he must really care about that secret. Yeah, so anyway, then he tells Clark about the time that he brought a bit of his spaceship stuff to a specialist who told him it wasn't from this Earth. Wait, so Clark has to keep it a secret, but he can bring some space junk to a guy? That's right. Wow, super unfair. And then we're gonna have this thing where
to keep his secret. I remember. I could be remembering wrong, so I can't use that. Because I was about to say in Man of Steel when he said that he brought that some of the alien tech or a piece from that spaceship. I'm pretty sure it was a piece from the spaceship to this specialist. I'm pretty sure Clark Kent and the guy that he gave the piece of the ship to, they go way back. I'm pretty sure they go way back so he could trust him. But then again, that's not really a guarantee that he could just turn around and go somewhere. Oh crap! I found this element that's not from this world. So I don't know. I mean, I understand his fear of not wanting people to know who Clark Kent is. Because I understand people's criticism where it's like, oh, wow, so what, you would rather let these innocent children drown? But at the same time, it's... Because at the same time, it's like, Paul Kent, he's thinking about the well-being of his son. So if people found out that he could do this amazing thing, I think it would just cause more chaos. I'm just thinking right now, if someone was able to do that, why would... Because Because maybe they'll react, oh, wow, this guy is a good person. Or they could react in another way. Well, wow, this guy could lift this. What other things he could do? It will probably cause more chaos than it needs to be. It's hard to say for sure, but I think Pa Kent didn't want to take that chance. He's like, look, I love you this much. I don't want to take a chance of something bad happens. So yeah, I would rather these kids die. And it's the thing is not, wow, it's not. Is this what the scene's meant to make the audience feel, where it's like, wow, Pa Kent's, he's fucked up for saying that, but at the same time, he doesn't want to risk the secret of his son's being exposed. He don't know what will happen. Maybe they'll praise him, or maybe it will cause chaos, because wow, or maybe the US government will get involved and stuff like that. Whoa, and then they'll find out about the alien tech, and then they'll be like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on? Who is he? Can he be trusted? We should subjugate him. That's his case. I don't know. Is that what Zach was going for? I don't know. Maybe he is, because that's what I'm actually thinking, because it's like, this is tough. Pa Kent says, Clark says, should I let them drown? Pa Kent says, maybe. Because I'm seeing both sides of that maybe. I understand people's criticism of it, but I can't understand why he said it, because he doesn't want to take that risk. Because, like, we don't know how humans react to you. So it's like, this is tough. I get the criticism. I agree with this guy's criticism, but I don't agree. I see it, but I don't agree with his criticism. I don't think any one of us could make that call, because it's hard. And the reason, that's why I like this Pa Kent's version of Pa Kent, because I remember the past carnations of Pa Kent. He's like this wise old man who knows everything. Not knows everything, but he knows what to say. He's out all the answers. And in this version, he's like, look, dude, I don't know. Maybe you should let them die, because I don't want them to find out who you really are, because we have no idea what would happen. So it's like, it's a really good take. I liked it.
Pa Kent dies in a tornado because he doesn't want Clark to help him.
Why?
Because if a person saves someone from a tornado, that person is automatically an alien.
Feels like there might be other conclusions people would come to before that one.
Well, Pa Kent doesn't want to risk it, so he lets himself die.
Huh.
Anyway, so when Clark is...
My only criticism of that scene, the tornado scene, it's been a long time since I watched Man of Steel, but I remember watching that scene, and I was just like, I understand what they were trying to do, but it could have been executed better. I remember having that thought. I disagree with his criticism when he says, I think people would come up with more conclusions before calling him an alien. So if he's near, if Clark saved, come up with more conclusions, because I remember the distance between Clark and Pa Kent was there was some distance for him to catch up to Pa Kent. He had to use his super speed, and people were watching. And then people would have to say he's either superhuman or he's an alien, but wherever he is, he's not human. That's the conclusion people would take, because that was some of the hardest distance. Because for him to get him there and to come back out, I disagree with that criticism. I disagree with that criticism.
Older, he's confronted by this jerk at a truck stop bar, and he restrains himself from kicking the guy's butt.
Oh, that's great. It's important to show that he's the bigger man, and plus this way he won't draw attention to himself.
Yeah, but then he's gonna impale the guy's truck on some massive logs.
What?
Yeah, then he leaves.
That's much more suspicious and also makes him seem like a petty character.
Yeah, but it's gonna look cool visually.
Oh, it is? Okay, never mind the story and character and theme.
Great.
So what else happens in the movie is...
I disagree. I don't think that makes him a petty character. I understand his point when he says, the guy threw a beer at his head. Oh, he learns self-control. He doesn't want to act out. But then him trashing his truck, and he's like, oh, he's very petty. I'm like, no, that's not petty. If someone spits at me or throws like alcohol at me, and then I turn around and I beat his car. I mean, not beat his car. I take a baseball bat and I break his car window. I'm not petty. It's just... petty's the wrong word. I'm not sure self-defense is the right word. No, I don't think self-defense is the right word. It's just that you cause an action, and I react to this action. It doesn't make me petty. Because if I saw someone throw an alcohol at someone and he turns around, grabs a baseball and says, "I'm gonna break your car," and he turns around and bashes his car, I'd just be like, "Well, you shouldn't throw alcohol at him. You started the fight." So to say that Clark's petty in the scene, I disagree with that strongly. I strongly disagree with that. But the one thing I do agree on is the truck scene. That's unbelievable to me. So, I mean, look, let me go back. Let me go back?
Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. This makes him seem like a pet massive logs. What? Draw attention to himself. Yeah. Oh, that's great. It's important to show that he's the bigger man, and plus this way he won't draw attention to himself. Yeah, but then he's gonna impale.
Yeah, that's unbelievable to me. So you're gonna do all that damage, and no one notices, no one hears anything? I mean, I guess you could make the argument that he could have flied after he done it, but if I remember right, he didn't learn how to fly yet. So all this damage, he's like, and no one heard anything? Yeah, that's unrealistic to me. I agree with... he didn't make a point about how unrealistic this is, but... I mean, maybe he did. I just wasn't paying attention. But if he didn't, yeah, I'll chalk that up to a criticism. Because that literally doesn't make sense. How could he crush that and it'll be quiet? Yeah, that's weird.
Theme. Great. So what else happens in the movie? Is Lois Lane in it? You bet, and she also has superpowers. What do you mean? Well, she can survive in -40 weather with no problem at all. She can teleport across the city to show up where she needs to be, and she's somehow able to resist the pull of a massive gravity machine. Those are some...
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Pretty impressive powers. Yeah, so anyway, later in the movie, Superman and Zod are gonna have this massive fight in Metropolis. So Clark is gonna lure Zod away from the city? No, he's gonna punch him through some buildings. Okay, but then he's gonna lure him away from the city? No, he's gonna punch him through some buildings for 40 minutes. Oh my god. Yeah.
That's so an exaggeration.
Many people are gonna die you don't even know. Feels like it's gonna be difficult to keep a fight scene interesting for 40 minutes. Actually, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh really? Yeah, we're gonna keep things spicy by throwing in some, extremely generic dialogue. How generic are we talking? Well, Zod's gonna be like, there's only one way this thing ends, Cal. Either I die or you do. Wow. And also Clark is gonna be like, you're a monster, Zod, and I'm gonna stop you. That is so incredibly generic.
Alright, let's talk about that fight scene very quick, right? That infamous fight scene in Man of Steel. There's this idea that Superman has complete 100% control in the fight. He doesn't. People made this argument that Superman should just flew Zod out of the city, but what makes you think that General Zod would let Superman fly him out of the city? Let's just say he did. The way the fight is set up and the way these two characters fight, if Superman grabbed Zod and tried to fly him out of the city, chances are Zod would have broke through that or tried to struggle and then punch Superman through even more buildings. So it's just that the way people criticize the fight, it's weird. It's like Superman should have done this, Superman should have done that. You need to take into context that this is a being that matches Superman's strength and power. So to say that he should have done this, it's like me criticizing like the first Iron Man fight scene. Like, oh, Tony Stark should have got that. Oh, I forgot the guy's name. Fuck. I forgot the guy's name. But you guys know in Iron Man 1, that gigantic metal Iron Man suit. That's like me criticizing, oh, Iron Man should just took him and just flew him out of the sea. It's impossible. I can't make that kind of judgment. It was really odd. And I watched the fight scene many times. Like I said, I think it's one of the best superhero fight scenes ever. It literally looks like what happens if two guys fight in a city. This whole Superman just punching Zod through buildings repeatedly is really how can I say this? Is misleading the right word? Because I watched that fight many times and I've never seen Superman just actively like punch him through buildings, like actively. Like I've never seen this. I've seen him, they fight. I've seen him punch Zod through the sky and he didn't hit any buildings. I remember the guy who done most damage to the buildings was Zod. Remember that X-ray vision, that X-ray, not X-ray, sorry. the laser beam scene where he punched Superman through the building and he jumps in, and he just lasers the whole building and just collapses. Or when Superman was flying through the sea and then Zod just bashes through the building and just hits Superman. And when he uppercuts Superman in the jaw and then he spins him around and just throws him through buildings. Like, if you have a god-like being and he throws you, like all of his might, throws you, you're gonna go through some buildings. It's not like Superman's like, holy shit, there's a building, let me just stop him midair. It doesn't happen. If they throw you or punch you, you're gonna go through. So it's just one of those weird. It was just weird because I've never seen that kind of criticism. Because if I made that same criticism with Iron Man 1, people would come to me and say, look, that's really unfair because they're in a fight situation, like life or death situation. It's really easy for us to sit back and look at, say, oh, Iron Man should have done this, he should have done that. But in the heat of the moment, in combat, it doesn't work like that. And it was really hard, and it's really weird how people don't take that same frame of mind and added it into this movie, where it's just like, it's combat here at the moment. People are like, oh, Superman should have done this, he should have done that. Look at all this destruction. And it's like, well, yes. And that's what I really loved about this fight. It wasn't not cheesy. It was believable. When you have Superman and a guy who matches his strength, who's very aggressive, and he just wants to kill Superman and all the humans around, and he tries to stop him, this is what it would look like. Like, it's not this happy-go-lucky fight scene where somehow everyone just like evacuates and there's no civilians. When you have two gods fighting in sea, there will be casualties. There will be. I think that was one of my criticism with Age of Ultron, where the Avengers were fighting this large army of Ultron bots, and I remember them saying, yeah, everyone's evacuated. I'm like, that's impossible. No way people could evacuate in that time. So it's like, it was just believable to me, and I really liked it. It was really fresh seeing that. So yeah, so that's where I disagree on with him. But I do agree with the dialogue. The dialogue is horrible. The dialogue is terrible. David S. Goyer, the writer for Man of Steel, he's great when it comes to ideas, but when it comes to dialogue, he is bad. It was bad dialogue. But with the fight scene, I completely disagree.
Rick, I love it. Also, Superman and Lois Lane are gonna kiss. Why? Well, he saved her from falling, and also they're like an iconic couple, right? Right, but did we build up a romance between them in the movie? Not really. And aren't they standing in the middle of a bunch of dead bodies and destroyed buildings? Yeah, it's gonna be super romantic. You have a pretty weird concept of romance. Yeah, I had a weird childhood. Weird childhoods are tight. Oh yeah, brother. So how does the movie...
Yeah, so I do agree with that. I remember when that kiss scene happened, I rolled my eyes. That is true. But I didn't take... When I rolled my eyes, I was just like, really? You're going to kiss at that in that time? But when he puts it like that with like hundreds of bodies on the floor and you're just going to kiss, that was... I didn't think of it like that. I just thought it was a bad timing. And it was just like, yeah, I agree. No, that's a good criticism.
Movie ends. Well, Zod is about to use his heat vision to kill a family, so Superman has to stop him before he does. So he grabs him and flies away with him? No. He uses super speed to get the family out of the way? No, sir, he doesn't. He steps in front of the blast and takes the hit himself? No, he breaks Zod's neck. What? Yeah, and then he screams because he's so upset that he had to do that. Feels like there were a lot of other options, though. Whoops, whoopsie. Anyway, so yeah.
I mean... Like, if he said, like, Superman could just, like, use his super speed to block it or something like that, that's risky in itself, because if Superman did jump in and just block it, nothing's holding out Zod. Zod could easily just continue the fight and then cause even more destruction. So I just think, like, and Superman, like, covering his eyes or just flying away, because at that point he pinned Zod down. So if he did fly away, Zod would just broken free and then continue the fight again. Is that the risk that you want to take? Because people are already complaining about the mass destruction of Man of Steel. So what? You want to potentially continue the fight because you don't want him to break his neck? I think no. I really don't think there was any any other solution after that. And the thing is, I actually did like when he broke Zod's neck, not because that it was unexpected, because it's one of those things like, wait, what? Holy shit, he broke his neck. But how they handled it is really I like. It wasn't that he broke his neck and he was just like, oh, all right, the bad guy's dead. Boom. No, it wasn't that. He, like the guy said in this video, he literally like yelled in despair. Like, he's like, I can't believe I did that. Because I remember, didn't in Superman with Christopher Reeves, didn't he kill Zod in that one? I'm trying to remember, because he threw Zod down somewhere and he like died. Didn't he do that in one of the Superman movies? So I was finding weird about how people could have a problem with this, but when it happened over there, it's fine. That's the one thing that I'm pretty sure he did kill. If I'm wrong, someone let me know in the comments. And no, this is not what happened. You're wrong. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I was wrong. But how they handled it, it was good. And when I was watching it, I was just like, holy crap! That's where Superman gets his no kill code from. And it actually does make a lot of sense. It seems realistic, where it's actually a trauma rather than some code that came out of nowhere, where he's like, look, I know what it's like to kill someone, and trust me, it fucks with you, so I'm gonna try my absolute best not to do that again. And that's a really great realistic way of him gaining that no kill code. But too bad it wasn't brought up in Batman vs Superman. Oh, what a missed opportunity. They need to bring that back. They need to bring that potential thread back. It has to, because that's some real good character growth if they do. I can't believe they didn't reference that in BVS, but jeez. I mean, it wasn't referenced. I mean, it was touched upon in BVS when he was talking to Park Kent, like the ghost of Park Kent, and he was like, he said something along the lines of, does the nightmares ever stop? And when he said that, I think he's referencing to the deaths of what happened in Man of Steel. But I wish it was more direct. They need to pull that thread back, because that was actually a good setup for him having a no kill rule. Yeah, so I disagree with him in this. But one thing that I do criticize that scene for is that the laser, like, Clark was holding Zod down, right? And he was lasering the wall, and it creeped up to his family, right? But the thing is, there's a huge gap where the family could have run to. Why didn't they just run over there? It was really... That scene, it was good, but it was stupid at the same time.
Yeah, then the city's destroyed and thousands of people are dead and Superman killed someone. Wow, how are we gonna deal with the aftermath of that? We're not. We're gonna jump forward in time. Oh, we're not gonna deal with the consequences? No, that would be super difficult. Very much an inconvenience. Fair enough. Yeah, maybe in a future movie or something. I don't know. Well, okay then. So yeah, So
in a future movie, they did address that. But I do agree with him that yes, even though Superman did yell in grief, if they did when they jumped a few months, they could have just done like a news report that says, oh, after the Battle of Metropolis, this many people died. Where they're holding a mass funeral, stuff like that. Or they could just say, can we trust this Superman? You know, stuff like this. You know, like showing what people's feelings towards Superman after the events of what happened. So I do agree with him with that. That's what I do agree with him with that.
To jump forward in time and have Superman destroy a $12 million military drone and be like, stop following me, you jerks. Wow. And then he's gonna get hired at the Daily Planet despite having
I didn't mind that scene.
No experience. And people aren't gonna realize that he's Superman? No, because he has glasses. Oh, I figured since we were going the gritty route, we would do away with that whole glasses hide his identity thing. No, that stays. If you say so. So what do you think? Well, honestly, man, as long as this lays the groundwork for the DCEU, I'm happy. And
I do agree that him joining the Daily Planet, even though he has no experience of reporting, yeah, it was weird. There could have easily been this throwaway line, I don't know, between Clark and Martha Kent, his mom, and he could have been like, And I don't know. Marquette could have been like, I remember when you used to go to secondary or high school or college and you were doing your reporting degree or something, and you passed with flying colors. I was proud, or something along those lines. It like actually does set up that it could make where it could be believable, where he could get a job on the Daily Planet, stuff like that. But yeah, I do agree with that criticism.
I hear ya. Justice League movie, here we come. Oh yeah, that's when we're really gonna cash in on these superheroes.
Justice League is the lowest gross movie. No, it is well deserved. It's well deserved. That movie was a fucking mess. It's a Frankenstein movie. Fucking hell.
Hey guys, Ryan here. Hope
so that's it. So how do I feel after that? That was hard. That was hard to get. I'm not gonna lie. It was surprisingly hard. It was really hard for me to get through. I'm not gonna lie. It was just seeing like my favorite movie that I've been holding on to for such a long time being ripped apart, being broken down like that. It's like, oh, damn it hurts. Oh, good. Oh, wow. Wow, that was rough. That was rough. But he did make some good points. He made a lot of good points, and I couldn't argue with most of them. So, yeah, oh, wow. Wow, that's really hard. That was really hard for me to get through. Wow. And now it's like, fuck. I could picture myself still watching Man of Steel and liking it, but it's like, then these things will occur and it was just like, man, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you enjoy it less. I'm just trying to picture myself. Is this how people feel most of the time when they see their favorite movie being attacked? It's just that they just don't want to see the flaws because it's like they just want to cover their eyes and want to see the flaws. You just be like, let me just enjoy this film. No, but I'm glad I've seen it. Now I see the flaws in this movie. I see the flaws. I still like it. I still love it, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's good to have this kind of lens. It's good to see this kind of movie in a different kind of lens where it's not like everything's all great. I love this movie. There's no problems. Blah, blah, blah. But when you actually see in this kind of lens where it's like, wow, this movie does have some problems. And I still like Zack Snyder. I like him as a director, but it's just like one of those things where it's just like, you can't fight against it, man. It's true. It's true. There are some bits in this movie that just does not make sense. I don't know. I can't understand why people don't like watch a movie through like this hardcore objective lens, because it's like, man, you just ruined Christmas for me, that kind of thing. But maybe that's what I need to start doing as well, because it's like now I need to decide what's important. Like if I watch a movie, now I need to keep in mind what's important. Should I lie to myself thinking everything's all good, or stop being a fool and look at movies in a certain way that even if you do enjoy it, you can't just sit there and say, oh, it's all good, because it's not. If something doesn't make sense, even if you like the movie, you have to say, yeah, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is something to think about. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.